what kind of motivated you to think this out of the box when it comes to prospecting, right? You maybe started off as an SDR and you kind of learned that the way that you go about it is, cold calling, cold emailing, maybe some LinkedIn messages. But it sounds like you guys have really kind of taken that a step further. So what was kind of that moment where you were like, maybe there's something more I could do or something different I can do? And how did you kind of get there?
Yeah, to lead us off here, for me, what I did when a lot of my alternative prospecting came from when I started prospecting on behalf of Demand Drive. Even when I was on programs before that, I used to always think to myself when I was sending like templated emails, would I open this? Would I respond to this? Like, would I send this to a friend? Like, is this something that's like quality or not? And if I had like that cringy feeling about like sending it, whether I would open it, I'd be like, all right, I probably shouldn't send this to people. So I kind of took it a step further. And when I was prospecting, so as you guys can probably tell, when you're prospecting on behalf of Demand Drive, I was thinking about the types of people I wanted to get in contact with. So people with sales titles, marketing titles. So from an outbound perspective, the type of messaging I use would matter. So I really wanted to amplify and make it super high quality, and kind of going back to that original theme of like, hey, would I respond to this? So I started to do it, and I still do it now for my target accounts, but I'm a big believer in using tools like Loom, which help personalize which it's a video tool, but what I really like about it is that it shares your screen. Like if you guys are familiar with it, you can see yourself in the corner talking, but it really shows your screen as you're going through, and you can explain like reasoning behind wanting to reach out to people. And that's what I liked a lot about it. I just thought to myself like, hey, I'd be willing to. It's called LOOM, so LOOM, and it worked really well, and I still use it today just because it goes back to that. It goes back to that theme of like, if I would open and respond to it, I think it's a good alternative way to prospect.
What ultimately inspired you to start looking at different ways to approach prospecting? Were you like in a rut, like with your project, and you were thinking, oh gosh, like there's got to be something else I can be doing to connect with more people or to talk to more people? Or maybe did you find a blog somewhere that you read that inspired you to try something new, right? Where did that really come from?
I think kind of going back to what Greg had said, as far as, just kind of like putting himself in, the position of people who are receiving, like, would I send this to myself? Would I, send this to my friends? I just starting out as an SDR, in the beginning, I utilized the Yesware campaigns, and everything was like kind of very generic, and I was getting very light responses, or nothing at all. So I figured there's got to be some kind of different approach. And from there, I started to look up different ways to like prospect people and utilize some of the methods that I used in previous employment that I've had. And one of the biggest ones was just, being a little more human, having a little more of establishing more of a rapport. Even if you go so far as to just looking up a person, a prospect's like personal LinkedIn, and just seeing like, oh, there's a commonality. Like, hey, I saw you went to, to like UMass. Oh, I went to UMass too. Like that's awesome. You can say like, oh, were you like a part of a fraternity or, or a sorority or something like that? Anything to make, that connection a little warmer, and kind of lighten up the mood to make it seem like, I'm not just trying to get a sale out of you. I'm actually interested in you.
Yeah. Obviously, you guys have all used these methods or tools because you've found success with them, right? So how did you really see that success change? Like, did you see your connect rate go up? Did you notice that you were getting more leads? Like, what actually was changing after you implemented some of these tactics or avenues to reach out to your prospects?
I could speak to both sales and recruiting that, texting definitely raises the engagement levels. I mean, that's pretty much it. And for sales, I mean, it secures the meetings, like I said about the conferences. So, I mean, pretty much help the client like actually, attend the meeting with the prospect live on the, and I mean, it's again, engagement. Even Sean, for his recruitment efforts, I'm sure a lot of you guys know he prefers to text and, make sure that everyone's prepared, show up to the interview. So engagement definitely is what changed or improved.